I always knew that I wanted more. I just was never content with average.
I've only had a kid for 3 weeks now. And my sanity and my wife's sanity they're in the balance, dude.
Just being unhappy with the conditions of the world, right? And really that's me being unhappy with the conditions of myself.
Things where one of the things I struggle with is alignment on certain ideas that I believe, but sometimes I half believe them, right? So certain things like self-confrontation, I genuinely believe it, but I don't believe it to the degree of what I was creating the post about.
If it was just me, you, and the kids, and we lived in the cardboard box, I'm good as long as I have you. And I was like, no.
Welcome to the It Show, and today we are super excited because first off, I want to say Adelio is back. Welcome back, Adelio. It's his first time shooting a podcast since he had a kid.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. How are you feeling?
Tired. Everybody tells you that's gonna be no sleep city, and you really don't understand what that means until you go through it. But we're finding the silver lining. But super grateful to be here. Grateful that he's healthy and eating like a motherfucker. So it's good. It's good. I'm also really excited for the guest that we do have today because I remember taking her class when I had first joined the Alliance, and that was the reason why I started my YouTube. Now, my YouTube's not where it should be, but that's a completely different issue. That's on me. But her class was the reason why I started it. Do you mind doing the introduction for our guest today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And today we have Victor and Alexis Diaz. They are an icon team at eXp Realty, an absolute powerhouse, international speakers. They just spoke at eXp Con. How many people? 4,000 people there?
4,000.
Over 4,000 people. And from everyone that I heard was the best speaker on the main stage, which is a lot to say.
I think so. Listen, not to be biased.
Right. And but more than anything, I mean, they're an icon team at eXp Realty. But I think more meaningful to that for them is that they are a husband and wife powerhouse team and parents to 6 children. That's not a typo. 6 children. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So we're super excited. I'm super excited to share the camera with my husband because normally I'm in front of the camera. He's in the back of the camera. So
I have no more of that.
yeah, I'm super excited.
Me too.
Awesome. So I'm sure everybody's curious because to build what you guys have built, you started in real estate how long ago?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. And today you guys are, last we spoke, I think you had like some crazy 19 pendings or something ridiculous as a single agent.
Yeah.
That's insanity. How do you manage all of that? Like getting to that level, shooting all of the content, running the business, but also running a household?
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot. And we definitely work as a team because we have no other choice but to, right? And sometimes it's not 50-50. Sometimes I'm never 90. He's 10. But sometimes it's 60-40, right? Or 80-20.
Sometimes it is 90-10. I feel like my tank is empty. She picks up the slack and vice versa. It's about maintaining communication and understanding what the greater goal is for the day, for the week, for the month.
Yes,
So
piece of hair mustache is bothering the heck. I can see it. It's like it's rolled.
It's like the only thing I can focus on. I love it.
So I agree with you, and it's so crazy because I would say he's a visionary now, but I feel like I'm the one who started it, right? Because I always knew that I wanted more. I just was never content with average, right? I think I believe that I was born to be great and have a lot. Money isn't everything, but money solves a lot of problems, right? And so, when he was the money maker, I was working at Disney. I was making $35,000 a year, right? He got let go of his job in 2019, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Because there's no way that I can sustain a family of 8 with $30,000 per year, right? And so I was like, we need to do more. And he ended up getting another job, but I I was like, I'm gonna get into real estate, right? And
Actually, nothing but support that.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I Googled real estate school, Central Florida. I talked to my manager. I was like, listen, I need to leave early because I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Study my behind off. I passed on the first try. Okay. He does. It's only more times. But he's the type of, I got this. I don't need to study. I was like, okay. And he took that first one and he was like, oh,
that was an ego check. I was like, ooh.
yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Gotcha.
yep. And I'm good at that. I could ego check real quick, especially when it goes to him. Anyways, so yeah, I got my real estate license. COVID happened and then I got furloughed. So it gave me a lot of time to just really dive deep into real estate. Then I got called back. Then we got let go, right? Admins are the first ones to be let go, which is crazy because we're the support. We're the one who runs everything behind the scenes, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. And yeah, I just took the ground running. I started as a single agent. I went to go on a team. I was on a team for 2.5 years. I was the top producer there. And I told him, I was like, let's go. You need to get your license. And he just couldn't see it because my husband is the type of person he's very simple. He's like, if it was just me, you, and the kids, and we lived in a cardboard box, I'm good as long as I have you. And I was like, no, I cannot. No, I want more. And so we fought about that, right? And that's just being vulnerable and real. We had really hard conversations, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is gonna work out between you and I, right? Because you want this simple life, but I see so much more for us and our children. And it was until we went to Cabo where he just saw the light. We went to a real estate event and he was like, I could do this. I want to do this. And it wasn't even the event, it was the people.
Yeah.
It was the people that we surrounded ourselves with. It was Gil, Lorraine, Veronica, Tony, right? And and he got his license and we've been doing it ever since, right?
Yeah, me in my mindset at that time, right? I was super focused on the job I was at, and the job I was at was a startup in the industry. So I was helping develop that. So I was, spent 2 or 3 years. It was time invested and energy invested. So I was hoping for some type of return. We can call that misaligned expectations now. And that never happened. So, I went full send and we got licensed immediately after Cabo. And it wasn't anything other than the people that really convinced me, because you hear about real estate, you always have these preconceived notions of what it is. And it's totally different to experience it in real time in person.
Right. And behind the scenes.
And behind the scenes. Yeah, absolutely.
But he quickly learned that didn't want to be client facing, right? He doesn't like the calls or anything like that. He likes behind the scenes. And so basically our dynamic is where he's handling everything in the back end and I'm front facing, right? I'll handle transactions, I'll talk to the clients, but you ask how we do it, right? We do leverage, right? We have a team. So I have 3 admins right now. I have an editor. Um and there's no such thing as work-life balance, right? It's work-life army. Sometimes we're just like, and I'm gonna be very honest, sometimes the kids are on the back burner a little bit because we're just so deep into like they need food in their bellies, right? They need a roof over their head. They need clothes on their back. So yeah, sometimes, it's a little bit extra TV time or it's putting them in extracurricular activities, which cost just basically like a mortgage, to be very honest with you, per month. But it gives us back time because I could tell you right now, I am not a car school line mom.
Me neither.
I don't like it. I don't do PTAs. I don't do school, but like I just don't like it. It's just not. I don't like it. So the after school picks them up. We pick them up in the night, right? And it still gives us enough time to go ahead and do what we need to do. Then sometimes it's a slower season in business, right? And we have more time with the kids, right? So it's harmony and it's never bad.
It's always a give and take.
Yeah, I agree.
Gotcha. You guys have seemed to have accomplished. I've never heard work-life harmony either. I think that's beautifully put. But like one thing that I struggle with my wife. My wife is that person that you're not, right? She like you have the after-school care at the schools and everything. My kids are 5 so they can still be in those things until like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, leave them there until 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like advantage. Exactly. Like, hey, we'll pay for it, but she'll still pick them up at 3:30. Like they're in after school care for 30 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? Is she a boy still? Like, but she's like, oh well, if I'm not spending time with my kids, then I'm failing them. And I'm like, I think that's just a blueprint issue where you value certain things and you create a story in your head of what failure and success is.
I think it's a society issue, right? I feel like moms are so judgmental towards each other, and I don't like it, right? Like, you have to be I'm not a helicopter mom, right? Like, I don't gentle parent. I don't have gentle kids, right? And so I'm very stern with them because that's the only way things get done, And I'm the first one to be like, peace out. I'll see y'all later, right? Like, I went to a women's event last April, and I was like, peace out. You guys are good with your dad. Even if you eat pizza and mac and cheese every day, you guys are fine. You guys are breathing, right? But what I think is super important, I'm going to be very honest with you. When we are on work trips, when we are on vacation, we do not call our kids.
Hmm.
We do not call our kids. The only one who calls us is my oldest son because he has a cell phone and he's attached to us, right? And he'll check in and all that other stuff. But honestly, we need that break and they need that break from us as well, right? And so when you haven't spoken to each other in a week and you guys see each other, you really miss each other, right? I'm going to be very honest. I don't miss them until about day 6, day 7, right? Because we have 6 kids. It's 6 against 2. And sometimes when we fight, they're the root cause, right? It's so crazy because we've been together 16 years and we went to Denver this past July and it was just us. And it was super just laid back and chilled and I had like an epiphany and I told him, I was like, babe, I said, I really like you, right? Because sometimes I feel like, damn, I don't like this. Right? Like.
Let it fly, dude. What else says nothing here?
So, but it was such a great feeling because it's like remove all of the noise, the chaos. Like I truly, genuinely like him, and I've heard of where parents are so deep into their children, right? And not with each other. And when they're empty nesters and the kids go on to, enjoy life and live life, then they don't have the husband and the wife don't have anything in common. They don't know how to be with each other, and that's where divorce comes in, right? And so I think it's super important and I don't knock it if moms if their children are just their everything, right? My children are my everything, right? But within reason in the sense of like my husband is who's going to be with me for the rest of my life, right? My children they're gonna have their own lives and all of that stuff. So I think it's super important for you to live your life with your spouse. And of course you just you can't have your children take over everything. It's not it. So me, like I said, and people probably comment and that's okay, but I know that they're safe. I would never leave them in somebody's hands that I don't trust, right? So 99% of the time they stay with his mom and I know that they're good, right? So if she's not calling me, I know my children are safe and they're good and they're in good hands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something about that too in terms of sanity, right? Because I've only had a kid for 3 weeks now. And my sanity and my wife's sanity are they're in the balance, dude. Like we're hanging by a thread. And we already had these hard conversations that you guys are talking about where we have to be cognizant of the time that we're spending with each other versus the time that we're spending being parents, like, doing the balance. Because before the kid, hell, if we wanted to go out, have a date, do whatever, have a night out or go see a movie, we could. Now, obviously, this is my first rodeo, and even to get out of the house is a pain. Like I was talking to you earlier, it's so much planning in advance that I wasn't used to, and now I'm starting to learn about it. But the fact that you guys are doing these things where you're taking the time to just be with each other, focus on each other, completely give up the rest of the stuff, which will be there, but you can renew yourselves as a couple.
It's so important.
It's so important. I would venture to say that like maybe some of the moms that you've talked to that have given you, maybe pushback or maybe have been harsh to you, I would venture to say that they themselves are not being true to what the experience is because you're very much yourself and unapologetically that. So most people can't really tolerate that, especially if they're lying to themselves in their personal life. So I would say like if your kids are around somebody who's honest, who's being themselves, that's much better. Even if there's a little bit of chaos, a little bit of balance here and there, than someone who's trying to pretend that everything's
I
fine.
love that perspective.
Yeah, I love that. And you have to remember is that like we're humans at the end of the day. We're not robots, right? So we have feelings. And I just started realizing that. So, okay, we have 6 kids. We have 3 biological sons. We started really, really young. We started our family really young. I was pregnant at 18. I had my first child at 19, right? And we were still trying to figure life out. And then we brought an additional 2 kids into the mix, which is our 2 other sons. And then we decided to become foster parents, right? Because I've always been the type of person that's like, how can I make a difference in this world? How can I be a better person, right? And so we got our license and we fostered about 15 kids, I would say, in total. Not at once, but yeah. The most we had at once was 9 kids, and that was a lot. That was a lot. So 3 of our children are adopted, right? So that already in its sense, so they have the same mom and dad. So that already in a sense, it adds a lot of stress too to the mix because my biological children and my adopted children are so opposite. So opposite. My biological children are like us, super chill, laid back, don't really need to be too, we don't need to do much, right? But my adopted children are on the go, on the go, on the go. And then my little one was born with drugs in his system, right? So he has ADD, he has ADHD, he has behavioral issues, impulse issues, right? And so that's an added stress when he got kicked out of school. He's on the verge of getting kicked out of this school. He's, and it's just like we're dealing with all of that plus an additional 5 kids plus business, right? And just everyday life happenings. Yeah. And so it's a lot. So when we get a chance to be out, we're out. Like, see you later. In the moment. We're in the moment. And it's so important for us because I get overstimulated really fast. Like, even when the kids come home and they just want to tell me about their day. And then I have one of my daughters. She don't care who's talking. She's going to make sure that she gets heard. But she keeps on and on and on. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, Cassidy, I need a minute. Like, cause it's just so overwhelming, right? And then at the end of the day, we just do our very best, right? We just do our very best. Are we perfect? No, but we do what needs to get done. They're in a loving, safe environment. Yeah,
They're laugh.
they're like,
You got to give yourself grace. Your best is good enough too.
oh yeah.
But I'm curious, what processes, if you have any, do you guys have to actually manage stress? Because sometimes business can be like business alone, especially with your book of business, some of these clients can be enough to just like tilt you over the edge, right? So like what do you do to actually manage that stress so you don't crash out, you don't end up in a hospital, you don't do any of those things?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't get as stressed as I do. Like he's more of like go with the flow, what happens, and I'm the one who's just super anxious and so I feel like self-care is very important. So I'll get my nails done every 3 weeks, right? I'll get my feet done, I'll get a massage at least twice a month. I get my hair done every week, right? And I feel like that stuff helps out as well because if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good, right? And so that's very important for me. And I would say we've traveled a lot this year. So that has helped us tremendously as well, where we're just like, okay, we've had multiple vacations from the kids. I will say that when we did the Build cruise, which was a business cruise, and we were like, oh, we could take the kids and do a business and personal at the same time. It sounded so good on paper, but it was horrible. It was horrible because you have your children in the back of your mind while you're at this conference, right? But you're not 100% at the conference. When you're with the kids, you're not 100% with the kids because you want to be networking and be
Like that, like being on stage, right? But having to focus on that. I'm working the event, and
it was
the attention is
we fought so much that weekend, right, babe? Like we fought so much and it was just like it's because we were overstimulated, right? And so I think self-care is very important. I also think just leveraging, like do things that you hire out, right? So I get my house clean once a week. Even though I swear to you, when they come home, I get my house cleaned every Monday. When they come home, it's like my house was never cleaned. Everything is everywhere. They it is what it is at that point. But and also leveraging after school programs. It is a mortgage. It's a lot of money, but it's worth it. It's worth it because it's kind of like it just kind of gives you a little bit more time to just kind of breathe.
Yeah, that's important.
So important.
It's funny you talk about self-care. I almost put a video out and then I recorded it and I was like, I don't even know how I feel about it. I felt so convicted when I decided to shoot it.
I felt that.
And then when I actually like started recording it, I was like, I don't even know how I feel about this. And it was talking about self-care is not actually what most people deem self-care, like the things you just described. For me, self-care is self-confrontation. Because I realized when I feel down and I feel like shit about myself, which, comes in waves at times, it's usually because I'm like pushing things onto the back burner, trying to avoid certain things. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to that later. And then all of a sudden it's just this build up and exactly. And then it starts fucking up everything else. But when I started like shooting it, I was like, you know what though? Sometimes I like to just sit back. Like one thing I love is a scalp massage. You guys ever just get a specifically, oh my God. Right. I mean, I can imagine because like I like the part where it, they kind of goes through your hair and stuff, but I imagine same experience. But
With the little, I don't know what that little spider thing is. Oh,
See, I don't like that because afterwards it's just super like I could still feel it. Yeah, I didn't like it. You like this?
So like being on a boat where you could still feel the interesting.
okay.
So, okay, are you gonna post it or not?
well, I ended up just like not even finishing it because when I started recording it, yeah, midway through, and I was like, it was one of those things where one of the things I struggle with is alignment on certain ideas that I believe, but sometimes I half believe them, right? So certain things like self-confrontation, I genuinely believe it, but I don't believe it to the degree of what I was creating the post about because I still believe you need to do those things you're talking about. So it's like, maybe there's a balance. I think that and a lot of times it's not just black and white. Most things I think are actually gray. Kind of like politics, right? Like shit, this is the It Show. It's all about independent thinking. I mean, you guys are from New York. Mondani just won in New York, right? And like
Socialist leader.
there's some people who fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
And there's also people who really, really love this guy. Regardless of what the policy is, I've seen some of the debates. I'm like, that dude's super polished. For somebody, regardless, I don't think his policies are great, but from like the stuff compared to Cuomo, where he's like,
Right.
who ran that shit into the ground, I'm like, I mean, he's probably a better choice. You may not agree with his policies. It doesn't matter what you believe, but I don't think there's anything that's all good and all bad. Trump, same shit.
Same shit.
Leading up to this, the election is like, he was leaning all the way in this direction. And then now it's like, shit, both sides are compromised. And I don't think that anybody actually is fully all in on one particular thing. I think that there's a lot of gray area. And sometimes you just have to make a decision. And then whatever that decision is, you have to make the best with the decision that you made. But the worst decision most times is just simply not making one. So
I agree.
Yeah, and that's a conundrum of a two-party system, though. It's like you're never really going to represent the people in its totality.
Yeah.
Right.
Never. So
Yeah, and I think it's been designed that way, right? Like they design it that way to create division, to have these tribalist mentalities where they can bombard us with all this propaganda, and then the people that are the weakest minded, they'll just attach to that identity because they don't have one of their own.
Right.
It's the same moms that you're talking about that don't really have their own identity, or they haven't spent enough time in the trenches dealing with truly hard things to figure out who they actually fucking are. So now they easily attach themselves like a leech to whatever mind virus came into their food or conditioning.
At the end of the day, you have to choose your hard because everything is hard, right? Being poor is hard. Being rich is hard, right? Being healthy is hard. Being sick is hard, right? So you have to choose your hard. And my hard, I want to be wealthy. And like I said, it's not just about the money. It is what the money creates, right? And you have so much more opportunities with money. You really do, right? And so that's what we're just working on building a legacy of so that we could pass it down to generations. And as cliche as it sounds, and I think it's so overused, but I'm going to use it, is where you break generational curses, right? Because I've learned the hard way. I grew up very, very fast. I grew up in a household where I was living with everybody under the sun, right? I grew up where my mom truly didn't want me, right? And she had said this. She wishes I could die and that I was never born, right? And so it triggers him, so I'm trying not to trigger him. Um but it really is where I just want better for my children, right? And that's why we adopted, and because I knew that I had the love to be able to give to children who didn't have it, because I know what that story felt like, right? And I just want to do better. I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to have more for my children that I had. I want to set them up for success, and I know that I don't want to silver spoon feed them either, right? Because then that's where you don't see the value, right? And that I remember I did a podcast recently, and I was asked, if you could do something that, like, what would you have done differently? And Vic was like, oh, start YouTube sooner, right? And I actually disagreed with him, because I feel like you have to go through the different journeys in real estate to truly appreciate it, right? So I did the open houses in the fucking summer. No, no, no. So
I know I wasn't licensed, but there's
yeah, I would drive him. So let me tell you. So yeah. So I'm telling you, Vic is the type of person. Oh, I got this. I got this. I was like, okay. Yo, he called me. He was slumped over on the corner of the freaking, no lie, of the street by Walgreens, and he was like, I feel like I'm dying. Can you pick me up?
what you saw.
Putting fines.
It was the middle of summer. It was about almost 10:30, 11. Sun is about to peak.
Yep.
Man, I felt busy. I'm like, oh, you know what? We'll sit down. Sorry.
And so putting down at least 40 open house signs, right? And doing everything, door knocking, and I tried wholesaling, and
Right, everything, man.
I tried a lot.
Social media consistently, right?
Yeah.
So,
But even cold calling, right? Like, you're calling people and you're like, hey, I just saw that you were interested in 123 Main Street, right? And they're like, "How are you?" Right? Right? And I closed deals. I was a top producer in my in on my team at that time, but I was like, this doesn't align with me, right? And so I went exactly, and I went all in on YouTube, and I was like, I love this. But you know what? I appreciate YouTube so much. I appreciate the platform because I get inbound leads, right? And so I'm so grateful. Sometimes it's a pinch me moment that it's like, is this my life, right? But I don't know that I truly would have appreciated it, because I didn't do all the hard work, and if I didn't do all the hard work, right? And now I see where exactly it gives you perspective. And that's where I feel like when you live a hard life, right? And I know there's people who live the harder life than I have, right? But I could only speak my truth and my story. Where it's like, I went through all of that, and I tell Vic all the time, I said, I would live the life I lived 10 times over as long as it led me back to you, right? And I feel that so wholeheartedly, because I'm like, it makes me appreciate him so much more. And it took me a while. Don't get it twisted. We've been together 16 years. It took me a long time to really truly appreciate him and have unconditional love for him, right? And sometimes is where it feels like my love is conditional, right? Because my love, that's all I experience, for conditional love.
your program.
Yes. Yes. But like, I truly like love him unconditional. I dislike a lot of things, right? We're very opposite. Or opposites attract here, because we're very, very opposites. Like, when it comes to chocolate chip cookies, I love soft, gooey chocolate. He loves crispy, right? Or you too?
I'm right there. I'm right there with Vic.
How about Samantha?
She's you.
Okay. Okay. How about you guys?
Yeah, my wife loves any chocolate, any form, and I'm like same. Like we don't. Yeah, we're like golden retrievers. So
But here's a real question:
junk food.
is chocolate chip cookie your choice of cookie?
So you know what?
It is not.
It's not. Yeah. I love the
It's not.
It's a chocolate.
So his is double chocolate. He loves the blue chocolate or black and white.
My wife says I'm an old man, so I'll let you take a guess at what you think that is. Oatmeal raisin? Get the right out of here.
Leaving now because
Just add it up. The raisin, though? Well, have you had oatmeal chocolate chip cookie?
yes, those are really good.
Those are delicious.
But the raisins in the chocolate chip cookie, I can't. So let me.
Those from Whole Foods, like those.
Ooh.
Hey, man. I don't know. I like what I like.
So I would say we were really big Cake Boss fans. Really big Cake Boss fans, yeah. And so when he was on his high, right? And we went to the his place in Hoboken. And at that time they had a cookie called Everything But the Kitchen Sink. And it was a cookie. It was the best fucking cookie that I've ever had in my life because it's everything. It's everything. It's the oatmeal. It's the chocolate chip. It's whatever else that goes into other cookies in one cookie. And it was absolutely amazing.
So you're gonna be in New York, right?
Right.
Levain,
Oh, yeah, those.
17th Street. There's one uptown, but there's one on 17th Street. It's called Levain Cookies. Just go.
Okay. Just have a field day.
Yeah, just it's an experience. So you walk in and it just overwhelms you with the aroma.
Breads, cookies.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll give it a shot. Yeah, and just get like 6 cookies.
They got oatmeal raisin?
I already know. I don't look for that stuff, man. It's not my favorite.
Wait, it's
Savina.
You ever had Fat Ash cookies here in Orlando?
Heard of them? I've never tried them.
I had it for the first time last week, and they had a really good cookie. It was a lemon cookie with white chocolate chips. And it was... No, I had lemon. My birthday cake my wife made me was a lemon cake with lemon curd.
Nice. It has to be tastefully done.
I don't.
So well.
I think you get that from your mom.
Yeah.
But she likes lemon curd, seeds like to the man. Oh, that's one thing I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't.
I want to talk about YouTube because you guys have at this point kind of scaled to a point where like your business runs off of YouTube, but you're also making it accessible for other agents, other people that want to try YouTube with, I think it's called the Monarch.
The Monarch Method.
I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but you guys are in the EXP manual for like people that actually want to try YouTube. Like you're the method. Can you tell us a little bit of, I guess, something that is not in there, some sort of behind the scenes thing that kind of completely changed the game for you when it came to YouTube? Like the thing that you guys tried that was like, okay, this is now moving the ball way faster than everything else that we tried. Obviously, the method has, there's a method to the madness, but there's got to be one thing that you guys did that just kind of like, right?
I mean, I talked about this. I think I want to say the really, really big differentiator was Monarch School of Monarch School of Real Estate. That was I think the separator, right? Because you could tour a house, right? Everybody tours a house, and everybody's an individual, like no one's the same, right? So my personality is something separate, right? Like people are attracted to my personality, people are not, right? So it's either you like me or you don't. But the biggest turning point was, I promise you, was me bringing the whiteboard into my video and me breaking down numbers. And I would never forget that video. So that house, we do a lot of business in Ocala. That's an hour and a half away from us, right? So I was like, if I have a showing, I want to always maximize my time and I try to get a video in, right? So we got to Ocala, we did this house, brand new, nothing special, right? But what was special about it was that there was no HOA. No HOA on that was on half of an acre, brand new, right? But the house inside was nothing special. It had carpet everywhere, it had laminate countertops, right? But it was priced at $250,000. And so that's where I went and I did my first, and it wasn't called Monarch School of Real Estate at that time. It was just, I'm breaking down the numbers for you. And I went, okay, if this house is priced at $250,000, what does it look like as far as a down payment is concerned when it comes to an FHA loan, a conventional loan, a VA loan? What do taxes look like? How about homeowners insurance, right? A lot of buyers don't even know what a closing cost, right? They only think about the down payment, but you have closing costs too. And so I'm educating. And I think I believe that that's a differentiator because so many people have called me like, I love how you break it down for me, right? I love to see what I can expect. And I always start by saying that I'm not a licensed lender, licensed tax appraiser, or licensed homeowners insurance agent. So the numbers on this board are solely estimates to give you a better idea, right? And people love that. Can you guess? I've said that so many times that it just comes out. He's like looking on you, he's like, um, and I think that is what it is. Now, I'm not telling agents to go ahead and create a Monarch School of Real Estate because that's not their brand, right? But you have to set yourself apart from the other agents. And how are you going to do that, right? And for me, it's education. I'm a very visual person. I love the whiteboard, right? And we've evolved it, right? So I still do the whiteboard, but then my editor has kind of like his own whiteboard type of thing that comes on the screen so that you could see it, so that you could see it better and more clear, right? And so it's constantly evolving, and that's where my brand is, right? I'm the monarch of real estate. When people see a butterfly, they think of me, right? And that's on marketing, that's on brand, right? Um, but it's just it's how can I be better than I was yesterday, right? And YouTube, and I think with everything, there's always a season of pivoting, because sometimes what you did 2 years ago is not working now. So it's like, okay, how can I pivot, right? And but what's crazy about it, and I talked about this in the real estate industry, is kind of like I don't know if I don't want to use the word groomed, but it's kind of like conditioned, right? To you have to be better than you were last year. If you sold 50 homes last year, you have to double it and sell 100 homes, right? And I'm just like, really? Right? And so I'm conditioned in my head, right? So I sold 60 homes last year, and I'm like, and he's like, and he's like, we're gonna do 120 homes. And I was like, but I don't want to do 120 homes, right? I want to create a different impact. And so, and I'm telling you, so right now, we're probably gonna close around 52 this year. And already in my head, I'm like, oh, but I didn't do better than I did last year. But hold up, Alexis, that wasn't your goal. Your goal was to be on more stages, to tell your story and impact agents. And I did exactly that, right? I was on EXPCon stage, the biggest stage this year for me. Keynote speaker by myself, 10 minutes. Like, can we really talk about that? And it's where it was my intention, right? It was my intention. And I've always been like this. If I'm set on something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna execute. If I'm like, right, babe, I've always been like that. Always been like that. Yeah. And but again, we're conditioned to think that you need to do more, 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 more. But you know what? I actually want to sell less houses, and I want to build a really big organization, right? And create streams of income where I'm not just relying on the consumer, buyer, or seller, right? I have different streams of income, but I still have to constantly talk to myself, right? I'm a very self-aware person. I'm like, okay, no, Alexis, because your goal wasn't to do 120 houses. Your goal was to do around the same that you did last year, but be on more stage and be more impactful towards agents.
Okay. My favorite comedian, Dave Chappelle, has a bit about being a dreamer, a powerful dreamer at that. And I think, I'm gonna send it to you so you can check it out because I think it's exactly what you're talking about. If you set your attention on something and that's what's in the back of your head every time that you wake up and you go through tough things and the why, right? If your why is constantly being that, you're constantly sending energy towards that, the universe just conspires to give it to you eventually.
Oh yeah. And Vic tells me this all the time. He says that I'm a very, very powerful manifester. He says that I'm very cause there's some times where I'm just like, okay, like I won't have as many under contract as I thought I would, and I would be a little bit, antsy because I'm like, okay, well, I got bills to pay, I got a team that I have to pay, right? And then all of a sudden it just starts flowing in again and flowing in. But that's the thing, right? I don't want to be on this hamster wheel where it's just like sell, 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 sell houses, right? That's why we're coaching agents on YouTube. We're coaching team leaders, right? So we've helped Veronica Figueroa roll out her YouTube division, right? And I'm super excited. We're in like week 6 now of her YouTube channel, and she already has 50 subscribers, and she already has over 3,000 views on the channel, and it's about her team, right? And so this is where I'm just like I want to create impact. I want to help team leaders. I want to help agents, right? And I feel like that's my mission. And so that's why I brought Katrina onto my channel, and she's going to be more of the handling the clients, right? And I think it's super important, especially when it comes to YouTube, where the consumer sees you and you build trust with them, right? So sometimes they feel some type of way when you're like, oh, well, this person is going to help you, but they're like, but I want to work with you, right? And so while I love that, it's just I can't grow like that, right? Like if I'm showing 50,000 houses, like I can't, my time is better spent negotiating, marketing, right? Getting more clients, helping agents and things like that. So that's why I brought Katrina onto the channel, where she's building trust with them now, right? And they love her and they're like, oh, how's Katrina, right? Or if I say Katrina got you, they feel it. They feel good about it, right? Because m- my YouTube fam are they're my family. You know, I do Sunday live every Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will has been on it, right? And it's where I built such a beautiful community, usually about 20 to 50 people per week. Sometimes it's the same people per week, and we're just literally just chopping it up. And I built such a community where it's just like it's a family. It's a family.
So people who tune into those streams are people that maybe are not even looking to buy, they're just tuning in to hang out.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Or if they're just not ready, right? And again, I feel like you attract your tribe. I feel like I've attracted so many people, and again, there are people who don't like me, right? There are people who put rude comments on, and they're just, somebody said, can you just shut up? And I'm like, but you're on my channel,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, yes,
Thanks for the engagement.
somebody just said, oh, I love your videos, but you said, what was the phrase I used? The phrase was used, um, something, I used the phrase, right? She was like, you said it 19 times in this video. Yikes.
Oh, who counts? You sat there and watched the
You
video.
sat down, you must have rewinded it and like counted how many times I've said it, right? But it's just like stuff like that. What is that doing for you, me, for anyone, right? It's super wild, but it comes with the
Those are the territory. Yeah.
Right. I remember I was in a mastermind. This was probably 2019. For Russell Brunson used to have the thing. He might still have it for 2CCX for the 2 Comma Club coaching that he does. And one of the things that they would always say in there is that if you haven't offended somebody by noon, you're not marketing hard enough. And that and the other part is like what we spoke about, the gray areas. He was like, um, there's you can either go all the way this way or all the way this way, but there's no money in the middle. You got to choose a side, and so that people have to identify and they have to choose. That's goes back to political and everything we're talking about. It's like you're offending people. You're marketing hard enough. It's working.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And I think that's kind of the tax you have to pay to get to the level.
Oh yeah, it worked. Let me tell you. So I'm known as the I got you girl, right? Because yep, I got you. I look in the camera and I'm like, I got you. And so people really know me for that now. They'll call me and they're like, oh, I know you got me, right? You're the I got you girl. So one of my clients, he was like, oh, we were going under contract, and we were at the new construction community. And he's like, I gotta tell you something. He was like, I was watching somebody else's YouTube channel, a realtor, and she said, I got you. And I commented and I was like, no, you can't say that. And then she was like, I could say what, like she was going back and forth with him, and he was like, Alexis says. And I was like, I love that, right? Because it sticks with them, your brand. It's no longer a hook. It really is a brand.
And now that people are legitimately like the biggest form of flattery is imitation, right?
Absolutely.
That's it. You made it to a different level now.
Oh, you
People copy it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say, right, like sometimes you have to look at other people and see what they're doing to see, because everything is duplicatable, right? No, I don't feel like most of the things are not original, especially in real estate, right? You're not reinventing anything.
You remix it.
And if you are like you're gonna be in this for a really long time, you gotta remix it, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. So, but what you could do is start just you'll start somewhere, but then you'll start evolving, right? When I first started the videos, our videos were shaking. I was whispering, right? Because I was like, oh, the sales agents are working in the model, right? And things like that. Now I'm just like, no, I'm bringing you guys business, right? Like I'm no longer shy or timid, right? And you start to just become your true authentic self in the videos.
Yeah, it's a Simba story. You found your voice. Yeah, I love it. What is, I guess, the next chapter for you guys? Like, you guys have gotten the business to where it is now. Where's the vision now going towards?
So I think we spoke about it a little bit is where we want to grow our organization with EXP. We want to really just bring agents into our culture, right? I feel like there's just so many agents that are lost right now, especially in this market. It's a hard market. Last year was a really hard market. There's so many agents who left the industry, right? And I just feel like they're not surrounding themselves with the right people. When you surround yourself with the right people, you become who you surround yourself with, right?
Really?
Exactly. And so I want to have more agents come to experience what we've experienced, right? Um I want to grow our coaching platform. I want to grow our so we have Evolve Studios where we have a team of editors who edit videos for YouTube and in our industry, right? Because I want to collapse time for people. I'm a true believer. I'll pay to collapse. Oh, I'll try. I'll pay to collapse time, right? And what I've learned quickly though in this industry, you gotta pay to play, right? Like, I remember one time I called somebody. It was May. I think I was in year one of my career, and I had questions about an Airbnb, like that industry, how because it was really popping in COVID years. And the guy was like, I was like, oh, can I take you out for coffee to pick your brain? And he was like, I charge $500 an hour, and I felt offended at that time, right? I was like, who do you think you are, right? Type of thing. But I get it now. Time is money.
Yeah.
Time is money. And when you've spent the time in like being an expert in your craft, right? I get it now. I get it. So that's what I see as just I want to travel more. I want to be on bigger stages. Like I want to, and I'm gonna affirm this. I am going to be on bigger stages, and I just don't want it to be about real estate either, right? I love the women empowerment. I want to be on more women's stages and podcasts and just making a difference. And people, I truly believe your story is not for you, it's for someone else.
I love it. I see this being a global thing for us in terms of our model that we built for video and conversion. Like she said, this is one thing to just make a video and post there 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We've got this thing really down to a science. So with that being said, it's really duplicatable in any market. So it's plug and play. So with that being said, YouTube is a global platform. EXP is a global platform. It's boundless opportunities to be had, especially with media and AI being on the forefront. I with every industry. It's just a no-brainer. So, on top of everything she said, multiply that by a global platform. That's where I see this going.
Yeah, one thing I definitely just want to always make sure is that we keep God first, right? And then we keep each other second, right? Like because it doesn't work if we're not good.
Yeah.
And then of course our children and
Of course.
Yes. All right, so this show wouldn't be the it show. It wouldn't be about independent thinking if we don't view things objectively and don't hold the ability to change our perspective. So my question for you guys can maybe answer individually if you'd like, but what's one thing that you believed 5 years ago that you no longer believe today?
You can go first.
Oh, okay. Um, man, 5 years ago, that was a dark time, just because post-COVID. I had definitely a darker outlook on the collective of humanity. Um, what that really was 5 years later is a projection of self at the time. Just being unhappy with the conditions of the world, right? And really, that's me being unhappy with the conditions of myself. And that's where I feel like true mental clarity kicked in and was like, okay, time to enrich mental, time to enrich physical. You get those tied in. You enrich, your financial and all that. So, it's a cascading effect. So, you get your mind right, you get your body right. Your body right, you get your money right. So,
Another. For me, it's I could do bad all by myself.
Mm.
I feel like a lot of women in society are conditioned to be all the women which are like in the right same for men, which is cute. It's cute, but I don't feel like that's the answer, right? Because you could get so much further with the right people surrounding you, right? And I don't believe that anymore, that I could do bad all by myself. Like, I have my husband, right? I have a group of friends, right? And I think that's where I'm in such a different place, right? Because like I said, we grew up so fast. We started a family so fast. So it was just him and I for all the time. But just within the last 2 years is where we have a really solid group of friends. And I don't want to do bad all by myself. I want to do bad with all my baddies, right? My husband is my baddie, my friends, my children, right? Um, so you don't have to be bad all by yourself. You don't have to be Miss Independent. It's cute. It seems like, oh, I'm a bad bitch by myself. I'm independent and all that other stuff. Yeah, I could do it by myself, right? I guess I can do it, but I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want to be a single mom of 6. When he left to go to UWM, it was ghetto. Like me taking care, I had to take the kids to school, right? I had to pick them up from their after school. I had to work. I had to make sure dinner was done, right? It wasn't fun being by myself. Like I told him, if we ever get you taking the kids, right? That's when I'll be bad by myself. Just kidding. But no, in all seriousness, that I no longer believe that. I no longer believe that I could do bad all by myself. I want to do bad with all of the people who truly believe in me, who've been there through sickness and health, through rich and poor, right? And especially
I love that.
This makes me want to get back to my wife. I got a baby to burp.
Well, to finish up, how can people find out what you guys are doing? Follow you guys on social media, plug your stuff in.
yeah, so definitely follow me on Instagram, Evolve with Alexis Diaz. We in the Instagram there's a link to the Stand store too, which you could just chop it up with me. You could get some like YouTube titles. You just got to put in your information. Monarch Method, where realtors rise on YouTube. That's where I just drop it all. I give it all, right? There's no gatekeeping. I tell you exactly what I do. And
follow me on Instagram, Evolve with Victor.
yeah, we're evolving out here. We're creating an evolving legacy.
Absolutely.
Or we're all evolving because of it. Thank you for coming.